happy to talk about how a social enterprise can really solve a problem that's faced, a fundamental problem that's faced by many low-income people in the developing world. Thank you. So this is Camille. She lives in Itire in Surulere in Lagos. She has 3 children, and she earns less than $2 a day. Camille has a waste problem. She struggles to dispose of her trash. The formal collectors rarely come, so she has to pay informal collectors who dump the waste in her community. And she worries about the environmental effects of this and the future and for the future. Camille is not alone. There are over 1 billion people in the developing world that struggle to dispose of their trash. Lagos is a city of about 20 million people. The numbers change, fluctuate, but it's about 20. It feels like 30 million, but it's 20 million people. We generate 10,000 tons of waste every day, and only about 40% of that is formally collected by trucks and things like that. And the rest ends up in communities like Camille, and it leads to flooding, pollution, and diseases like malaria. At the same time, most of this waste that is generated is recyclable. So Lagos generates about 730,000 tons annually of plastic and metal. And when you calculate that conservatively, that's about 64 billion naira. So I'm sorry for people that don't know, that can't think in naira, but it's about hundreds of millions of dollars in value just generated in plastic and metal in Lagos. And most of that waste ends up in communities or in landfills. At the same time, recyclers struggle to get a reliable supply of trash. There's a large recycler here in Lagos that runs at about 50% of its capacity. So at Recyclers, it was a brainchild when I was at MIT, and I took a class called Development Ventures that opened my eyes to the problems faced by people here in Nigeria. And we knew that we couldn't just take a solution from the US and just import it and photocopy here. It won't work. We had to think and be smart about the local challenges, the local context. So we created, to get around the problem of the road network, we created these cargo bicycles. And to really solve the problem of awareness and behavior change by people that really don't even know what recycling is, they don't understand, they don't care, we use incentives to stimulate behavior change. So how does Recyclers work? We work in low-income communities as a start, but we are looking to go to other areas. We collect plastics, metal, and we encourage households to sort the waste. We come with our bicycles once a week, and we weigh the trash, we record it, and the household gets an SMS that shows them how many points they earned. So they can continue to accumulate points, and then every quarter, they can exchange those points for gifts. So it's household items that they need, electronics, even cash. So you are turning something that has been a nuisance, that has been a problem, into a way out for many of these people. And we, at the back end, we collect all the trash, we aggregate it, we process, by baling, shredding, bagging, and then we sell to recyclers. We've been in operation since August of 2012. Since then, we've registered over 7,000 households. We've collected over 800 tons of waste, and we've created about 50 jobs. But we are really looking at expanding beyond the 2 neighborhoods, because we're currently in 2 neighborhoods here in Lagos. We're looking at expanding beyond those neighborhoods to other parts of Lagos, to other cities in Nigeria, and even to other countries, because this is a problem that is seen everywhere you go in the developing world. We're really working hard to scale up, and we hope that by 2017, we will have 250 Recycles in operation. We've been able to build a very scalable model where entrepreneurs can actually go into waste collection, waste management as a business. So it's plug and play. You have a turnkey solution. You can go in and you can start making money from trash. So for the short term, we've realized that we really need to add value. So we're looking at adding value to waste before we sell, and also increasing our collection capacity. We want to turn waste, uncollected waste in communities, into a wealth generation engine for communities and even for the economy. And we're really happy by the impact that we've had. We've been able to create a sustainability culture in communities. People now understand what recycling is. You can ask an old woman that we work with, maybe they didn't know what it was, but now they know recycling, yes, plastic, yes. They're also more, conscious about the community. They're more waste conscious. So waste is not something that you just have to live with. It's actually something, it's a resource. And one of the things I'm really excited about is that we've been able to show that social enterprises can be very, very impactful, can be very important in helping government achieve provide fundamental services, important services to their citizens. We have a successful partnership with the Lagos Waste Management Authority. They sponsor us, they've sponsored 5 week cycles. They give us free access to their sites. And we're already talking about other ways we can partner together and really grow and tackle the waste problem. We've also created jobs. So there's a long-held stereotype around trash, where people that work in the trash sector are looked at as dirty and haggard. But we've turned that on its head. We've shattered that stereotype, and we're trying to make it more dignified. So I'm an example of that. I have a master's in computer science. I have an MBA from MIT, but I'm picking trash. So we are trying to make waste more, more fun. So a very wise woman once said that in order for you to bring about real innovative change, something that will change the status quo, you have to be a little bit crazy. So I have to admit we are. People, when I tell people about WeCyclers, they think, what is that? But we've been able to show that you can create value. You can have a solution, an innovative solution that would bring about huge, impactful change. And we're looking at scaling up our model to help the over 1 billion people like Camille. So if you have any questions, I'll be happy to answer them. Thank you.
And I'm just mute. I don't know what to say about the whole thing. But this is a beautiful idea. It's in Lagos here. I came from Ilorin. How do we get this kind of things? The waste here, you see a lot of people are here just like there too, but the idea about waste management over there shocks. So how do we transform this kind of idea? I can volunteer to do something there, but how do we get to do that?
Thank you very much for your question. So that's something that we've seen at WeCyclers. So many people email us, call us, and tell us how they want us to come. For example, somebody just called me from Ghana telling me there's a waste crisis, you have to come to Ghana next week. We are looking at working with people to create, to really go in, but we need funding. That's our problem. We're trying to find a way so we're working on raising funding right now so that we can create, opportunities for people like you to make money from trash. So we're working on it, and maybe you can give me your contact and I'll keep you updated as it goes.
Hi. You mentioned that you left the US. How did you start? How did you find the push to take the risk to start something new in like a country that maybe you weren't familiar with?
That's a great question. So I left Nigeria when I was 17. I was 17. My mom is here, so she would know a bit better. I worked for 5 years at IBM, and I just was tired of working for a large company. I wanted to do something for myself. And I just, I think for me, what made me wake up was that the class I told you about, people were talking about solutions. So people have created, labor solutions, They've created trash solutions, people like Sanergy in Kenya. But when I looked at them, they didn't look like me, and they're in Africa. So I'm from Africa, people are telling me how they're solving my problem, but it's not my people that are doing it. So that woke me up and said, look, if I want to really, really change things, I need to come back and solve the problem. So it's not been easy, and I've been very fortunate, I have, good support system, but if you really want to make a change, you have to go and just, start. And CC Hub has been I have to say that, plug CC Hub. CC Hub has been very amazing. So as soon as I came back to Nigeria, that was one of the first meetings I had, was with Femi, and they accepted me into their program, and they gave me that structure that I needed to just feel comfortable. There's AC, there's Wi-Fi. So when you go out, your head is hot, you come back. And they really, challenge me all the time and have really helped me to grow my business. So, maybe you can reach out to them.
Hi. So, fantastic presentation, really interesting business model. It strikes me that the members of the community are kind of fundamental drivers of what makes you guys work, right? The steady supply of trash that you can then recycle. Are you guys thinking about, in the future, kind of expanding the types of incentives that you're offering, maybe kind of like profit sharing type things, or even direct kind of cash for recyclables? This is something that I'd be interested to know.
That's a great question. So when we first started, I didn't want to give cash. So I said, no, it's transactional. I don't want to create that kind of culture. But people really pushed back. So we do give cash. So people really have, over about 50% of our subscribers redeem cash. And they use it for whatever they want to use it for. And many people actually use it as a business. So they'll go and they'll collect trash from everybody, from their friends, from their family, and they have this income stream that's coming in. So yeah, we're doing that. Yeah.
Okay, so my name is Anthony. So I see you have something that works. Something I'm very concerned about is the PET bottles we see around the drains in Lagos. So I'm wondering, can WeCyclers sort of reach out to the guys that use this in their business, maybe Coca-Cola or 7-Up, and tell them like, okay, this is part of your business. Can you collaborate with us? Because you mentioned you need funding. Sort of, yeah.
That's a good question. So we partner with, one of our partners is Coca-Cola. And, so one of the issues that we've had is that many of these private companies, they don't see the need to really go in big if there is no government push. So we're working on, so one of the issues is legislation, creating policy that would enforce and make people, private sector participants really go in and do the right thing. I'm not saying that they're not doing a good job. They've been very, very supportive. But to really get buy-in from the whole sector, we are pushing really hard. And in the next few months, you're going to hear about it. We're pushing to have, policy that makes companies, because in other countries, that's what they do. They pay. So we need to make them pay.
Sorry, that's the last question.
Just very brief. Yes, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Your initiative and your idea is very, very fantastic. My question is a little more like a suggestion. I don't know if you'll be able to reach out to the Ministry of Environment and also NESRA, that's the National Environmental Standards and Regulation Enforcement Agency, because they would love to really partner with you, NESRA, in something like this. And also the last one, in terms of for publicity, because you said you try to still reach out to other communities. There's something that that's what Loma and some agencies do, where they have like a truck, they visit house to house, whereby people bring out their trash, and everybody now dump it then. So is there a way maybe you can contact those people? So immediately when people bring out their trash, there's more like publicity. They can even tell people about what WeCyclers do, and then people can just get information. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you very much. That's a great question. So we are working with the Lagos State Loma already, and they've been very, very good partners for us, in the communities that we're operating in, and they really like what we are doing. They want us to scale up to other areas. So they've told us, look, if you can just, raise your money, you can come to these other areas. And in terms of Nesria, I've been to Nesria. We have already put in our application and proposals. So we're talking to them, and they're very excited about taking this to other states, because it's a big problem. Waste management is a big problem in Nigeria. It is. Thank you very much.